So Marcus Aurelius was an incredible man. He went through intense, brutal wars. He was the Roman emperor, the most powerful man alive. And he distilled everything that he learnt into a personal journal that he called Meditations. Now, I went through that book for the 4th or 5th time. I read it again, and I've distilled everything that I've learnt into a list of different principles that you can benefit from today, so that you can become just as self-disciplined he was and just as invincible as he was. Now, if you're wondering what translation I used, and for all the people that are about to ask me what translation am I reading, then there's a link in the description for the best translation of Marcus Aurelius Meditations. Now, if you're new around here, then make sure you like the video and subscribe if you're new. No, like the video. Everyone like the video, and subscribe if you're new. Now, I want you to watch till the end of this video, because when you start to see all of these concepts, you'll start to see how they all merge together and apply, and how you can start benefiting from them today. So watch till the end of this video. But let's get on to number 1. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surely. Now, this is perhaps one of the most famous quotes from Marcus Aurelius Meditations, and distilling it down to its core, the main thing it's telling us is that we should prepare in advance for the people that we're going to meet, the people that are maybe dishonest or not nice people, and we should not meet them with the same dishonestness or the same unkindness. Instead, we should meet them with gentleness, because they are only like that because they cannot tell good from evil. And the main core concept in this quote is to say that no matter what people you meet, no matter how mean you are, no matter how much they bully you, no matter how many mean things they say or how many selfish things they do, you cannot be affected by anything that they do. You and your emotions are entirely under your control, not in the hands of other people. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. The point here is that the power over your own mind and the power over your own decisions cannot be stolen and cannot be taken away from you. If you have the core principles and you have core values in yourself, external feedback won't affect you at all. Because if someone says something that may be considered insulting, but you're not insulted by it, is it an insult in the first place? Absolutely not. The only thing that is an insult in the first place is your perception of the event. Is it your reputation that is bothering you? But look at how soon we're all forgotten. The abyss of endless time that swallows all. The emptiness of all those applauding hands. Remind yourself of the impermanence of your life and the impermanence of the work that you are doing. Because in the grand scale of the human timeline, no matter what you do and how important you think your work is, it isn't going to make that much of an impact 3,000 years from now. Now, although that may sound like a negative statement, I disagree, because I think that beauty and impermanence are two different things. You can still do something beautiful and have much respect and obsessively go over this beautiful thing, but still be reminded of its impermanence. Because when it is impermanent, you're going to remind yourself to not rely on other people's opinions of the thing that you are doing. You should be doing it because it's beautiful and meaningful to you, not because you want the recognition of the people out there that are clapping their hands in recognition at you. Instead, do things for yourself. As an antidote to battle unkindness, we were given kindness. Now here Marcus Aurelius is going further than just saying to prepare yourself for unkind people. He's giving you the recipe on how to deal with those unkind people. Because when you treat them with kindness, they're not expecting that. And by breaking their pattern, you're going to break their cycle of being unkind. So treat unkind people with as much kindness as you can muster. There have to be shameless people in the world. This person in front of you might just be one of them. Remembering that a whole class must necessarily exist will enable you to tolerate its members. Now, here Marcus Aurelius is saying that there must be people that are ungrateful or unkind in the world. There just must be. Otherwise, there would be no such thing as a kind person. Because if everyone was kind, then that wouldn't be a word. It would just be a thing that we all accept. So by knowing that there must be unkind, devastating, sad, annoying, angry people in the world, knowing that that must be the case, you must expect them to come, or at least expect that there's a chance that you'll bump into them. Because by recognizing that they exist in the world, that means that there is a chance that the person that you next talk to, the person that you next bump into, might be one of those people. So just prepare yourself and expect that to happen. To do harm is to do yourself harm. To do an injustice is to do yourself and injustice. It degrades you, and you can also commit injustice by doing nothing. Here, Marcus Aurelius is reminding you that when you are disrespectful to someone else, you're actually being more disrespectful for yourself. Because that self-control, that self-respect that you have for yourself is so important, and you're giving it away when you start disrespecting other people. It's silly to try to escape other people's faults. Just try and escape your own. If your goal in life is to make yourself crazy, then one of the best ways to do it is to try and fix everyone around you. Try and make them perfect so that nothing that they do annoys you. Or, on the contrary, you could try and fix yourself. If someone else is being annoying, why don't you practice your patience? Instead of trying to fix everyone else, start with fixing yourself. Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. Retreat to consult your own soul and then return to face what awaits you. The next time you think, I need a holiday, or you need to get away from what you're doing, you need to remember that if you can get away whenever you want to, it's all within your mind. All this stress, you can simply place yourself away from it by doing something like meditation, by bringing yourself back to the breath and getting an inner peace that no matter what's going on around you, you're going to be okay as long as you have your breath. No matter how many stressful situations are happening, that can't kill you as long as you've got your breath. So when you want to go on holiday, remind yourself that the holiday itself is kind of just escaping from this situation. You're going to have to return to it eventually. So you've got to get used to getting yourself away from the situation just at home, wherever you are, escaping to your own mind, and remember, the breath is all you need. Is a world without pain possible? Then don't ask the impossible. A world without pain is simply impossible. It just cannot happen. And when you recognize that and fully internalize it, you will not be so scared of pain, because it has to happen for you to be living. Pain is a part of every single person's life. So don't spend your whole life trying to avoid it because it's impossible. Instead, embrace discomfort and go through life doing the right things. What is so unbearable about this situation? Why can't you endure it? You'll be embarrassed to answer. Now, this is a perfect quote for the procrastinators out there, because when you find yourself procrastinating and you catch yourself procrastinating, you've got to ask yourself, what is it really that you're procrastinating? How bad is the task that you're procrastinating? Is it something that could potentially kill you? Is it something that's going to take years and years of toil? Chances are, no. It's something small. So remind yourself of how small this task is in the grand picture, and remind yourself of the strength that you contain. Because when you remind yourself of that strength, that issue that you're procrastinating, that task you're procrastinating, is tiny in comparison. After death, there is no us to suffer harm. When you are alive, death is absent. It's not a part of your life. And when you're dead, you are absent. There's no reason to fear death. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. There is no promise that you're going to make it to the end of this sentence. Well, you made it, good job. But there's no promise you're going to make it to the end of this sentence. Remind yourself, everything is temporary. Your life is temporary. So ask yourself, would you be living your life the way that you are living it at the moment if you're going to die in 5 years' time? Or do you think that you're invincible? Do you have no conception that your life is going to come to an end? Because in reality, it could end in 5 years' time, or it could end in a year's time, or a month, or a week, or a day, or an hour. You can see that your life could end in an hour. So why don't you start being a good man now? If you're going to die in an hour, do you want to spend that last hour of your life procrastinating or making the wrong decisions or not being a nice person? No. So remind yourself of the shortness of life. Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life. Imagine that this video is the last video that you'll ever watch. If that was true, what would you be doing? well, you'd be appreciating every single word that I'm saying. You'd be appreciating the sofa or the bed that you're sitting in. You'd be appreciating the laptop that you're watching on or the phone that you're watching on. By doing everything as if it were the last thing in your life, then you're going to start living life in the present moment with gratitude. Because the past is in the past, that can no longer happen. The past is almost imaginary, it's not now. The future is in the future, you can't control that any moment. All you can control is the now. So why not make that now the best now that you could ever live? And you can do that by reminding yourself that that could be the last thing that you'll ever do. Now, if you look at the first link in the description of this video, you're going to learn the secret that Marcus Aurelius and Bill Gates used to accelerate their personal growth in just 10 minutes a day. Go click the first link in the description. If you enjoyed any part of this video, then make sure you go ahead and you like this video. If you're new around here, then make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can improve your life day by day by day. Now, let me know in the comments section what your favorite exercise of this thing, the favorite Stoic principle, let me know what that was. And if you think I missed out a Stoic quote or a Stoic principle, let me know down in the comments. I'll see you in the next video.